Good morning. My name is Matthew Yates and I'm from Central Queensland University in Australia. Today we'll be examining maximal lifting exercise improvements in college-age males. Is it the placebo effect? For an overview of the study, we'll cover the introduction, the methods, which will be broken down to approach to the problem, the subjects, the procedures, and the statistical analysis, and then the results and discussion, followed by the references used. In medicine, the placebo effect has long been acknowledged. It has been successfully controlled in clinical trials for over 50 years. A placebo is an inert substance or treatment that is applied to a subject in a clinical trial. Its effect on sport remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern literature. This study was designed to examine maximal lifting exercises and the placebo effect. One of the most commonly adopted methods of examining the placebo effect on sport performance is by creating habituation and counterbalance conditions. This was the blueprint adopted for this study. The study hypothesis is that the improvement in performance is due to the application of the placebo effect. For an overview of the methods, we'll cover the approach to the problem, the subjects, an in-depth look at the procedures, focusing on the entrance criteria, the familiarization session, the baseline testing, testing session 1 and testing session 2, and the statistical analysis. An in-depth look at the procedures can be seen in Figure 1 to the right. To look at the approach of the methods, a within subjects design was used for the study. The familiarization session was conducted first, followed by the baseline testing session, where subjects will complete all testing required, and then subjects receive the supplement tablets. Testing session 1, subjects will complete all the required testing, and then the placebo would be removed. And then testing session 2, subjects will complete all the required testing. To look at the subjects of the methods, we use 15 college-age male subjects. Their demographic data can be seen in detail in Table 1 down the bottom. We had an average age of 21, a body fat percentage of 14.2, an average heart rate of resting of 68.6, and a BMI just outside the healthy range of 26.3. The subjects had to fit 3 criteria. 1, that they had been performing upper and lower body strength training for 3 days per week for 6 months prior to the investigation. Secondly, that they had not consumed an ergogenic aid in the last 4 months. And finally, that they had agreed to refrain from resistance exercises for the duration of the investigation. All subjects signed documents by the National Ethics Statements Approval by CQU prior to any data collection. For the procedure, first up was the familiarization session. Subject reported to the lab between 8 AM and 10 AM. The warm-up was a 5-minute cycle at 60 watts on a Monarch bike. First off will be the 1 RM bench. Firstly, they do their warm-up, which was 2 sets of 10. That will be weighted at 50% of their max RM. A 3-minute rest between those sets, and then they would determine the 1 repetition maximum for bench press. Next up was the 1 RM squat. Once again, they would have a warm-up of 2 sets of 10 at 50% of the weight. A 3-minute rest between sets, and then the 1 RM squat will be determined. Following another 3-minute rest, they would begin the bench press and the squat endurance, respectively. They would determine the maximal reps at 80% of 1 repetition maximum for bench press and then squats. Prior to all exercise, correct technique was demonstrated and recommended by the experimenter. All subjects then received a food diary to record 3 days prior to baseline testing. For baseline testing, all subjects reported to the lab between 8 AM and 10 AM. Anthropometric measurements were recorded in height, weight, and 3-site skin fold testing. Subjects then completed identical exercise procedures as in the familiarization testing in regards to warm-up, the 1 RM, and the endurance exercises. Subjects were given a second food diary to record the 3 days prior to the next testing session. Subjects were then given a 4-day supply of sugar tablets. The subjects were informed these tablets were composed of a powerful amino acid compound that had been proven to increase skeletal muscle strength and endurance by 10 to 15%. Subjects were instructed to consume this tablet 3 times per day and to record in the supplement adherence log. Next over to testing session 1, referred to as T1. Subjects report to the lab between 8 AM and 10 AM again. The subjects completed identical exercise procedures as to the baseline testing session in regards to warm-up and then the exercise format. Subjects were given a third food diary to record the 3 days prior to the next testing session. Subjects were then given an additional 4 days supply of tablets. However, upon completion of all subject exercises, all subjects were informed. Another university just completed an independent study of the supplement and found the supplement to have no effect on skeletal muscle strength or endurance. The supplement does not work. Thus, the placebo had then been removed. Subjects were instructed to consume tablets 3 times per day to record in the supplement adherence log. Moving on to testing session 2, T2. Subjects reported to the lab between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Subjects completed identical exercise procedures as in T1 in regards to the warm-up and then the exercise format. After the completion of all subject exercises, the experimenter contacted all subjects via phone and informed them of the investigation process. All subjects were informed the supplement was a sugar tablet. For statistical analysis, an alpha value of p to 0.05 was the parameter for statistically significant data. A paired t-test was conducted to determine the results between baseline testing and T1, which was while the placebo was in effect, and a paired t-test was conducted to determine the results between T1 and T2, which was after the placebo had been removed. All statistical analysis was conducted using Microsoft Excel Data Analysis Toolpack. Moving on to the results. During the placebo, Table 2 shows the performance results over baseline testing, T1 and T2. It can be seen that a significant improvement in performance was identified in 1RM exercises between baseline testing and T1. This was while the placebo was in effect. The 1 repetition maximum squat improved by an average of 13 kilos. The 1RM bench improved by an average of 6 kilos. The maximal reps of the 80% squat exercise improved by an average of 1.9 reps, and the maximal reps of 80% of the bench press actually decreased by 0.1 of a repetition. A further detail of results can be seen in Table 2 below. Secondly, for the results after the placebo was removed, it's evident in Table 2 again that the slight decline in performance after the placebo was removed. The 1RM squat decreased by an average of 1.8 kilograms. The 1RM bench press decreased by an average of 1.6 kilograms. The maximal reps of the 80% squat was level with the T1 results, and once again the maximal reps of the 80% bench press was also level with the T1 results. Interesting to note that results in T2 did not reduce down to the original baseline performance levels. Once again, a further detail of information in Table 2. During the placebo effect, it was important to notice that performance increased significantly across 3 of the 4 exercises examined. This improvement supports Ariel and Seville's 1972 study. The subjects improved when they believed they were consuming an ergogenic aid. The logical conclusion is to support the study hypothesis that the improved performance is due to the application of the placebo effect. After the placebo was removed, the results of T2 provided an interesting observation that performance did not significantly decrease after the removal of placebo. However, results did not reduce as far as the baseline performance levels. This does not support Maganaris, Collins, and Sharp's 2000 study, where subjects were found to return to baseline performance once a placebo was removed. Finally, you'll find the references used for the study. Thanks very much for listening.